Yeah. Surround. Oh man. Foist. Check this out. Like that? That's the sound you're hearing. It's beautiful out here. Beautiful day, beautiful day, beautiful day. Beautiful day. Check it out. Yep. It's kind of loud. You're welcome, by the way. Nice heavy stream. Oh, somebody moving in? Got so many new friends. It's a big ass moving truck. Oh. So, a few more minutes while folks get their notifications. Gonna have a chat. Chatty chat. A chatty chat. Uh-oh, it's not a moving truck. That's no moon. Where they're going? Where is it a moving truck? Don't have any identification on it. Could have people in it. I don't know. There's nothing on that truck. Just on the mud flaps. That's about it. Oh. Strange. And oh, come on, I hate when people let their dogs like shit and run through this nice area. It's beautiful here. Very beautiful. People just let their dogs shit anyway. Come on now. That's just fucking nasty. Okay. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why, Pew, that I wanted to make this video, because I was like, you know what? As much as I would want our good friend from this shithole in Indiana to win, he's kind of receded into darkness. And it wouldn't be any fun if he's not around. But this is dumb fuck of the year. And people's actions kind of get amplified towards the end of the year. And it wouldn't be fair for recycled nonsense to win over fresh nonsense. You feel me? And I was alerted today when Tommy Hall had written something. I'm not sure if it was last night or this morning. But I think it was last night. It was last night. Yeah, I wonder why too, Sibel. Yeah. Last night, Fiona hosted kind of a general overview of cancer, just like what it is, what people refer to it as, and then they had a host of individuals, including myself, different background, different education levels, and we were fielding some decent questions. They weren't really difficult, but just questions to really place an emphasis and place a context on this thing that we commonly refer to as cancer, because we toss this term around, but it wasn't until I read this morning, or actually it was afternoon, this afternoon, that I read Tommy Hall's definition of cancer. And wow. 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 Part of the reason why we have so many hiccups. Okay. Just come on. Just come on. You're not gonna go anywhere anyway. So yeah. You fucking serious? Yeah, you gotta get out of here so fast. This kid's coming, jackass. I understand people like that. There's a school bus out there anyway. So where are you gonna go? Sorry. That pisses me off really bad. Fucking fat fuck. I know I'm fat, but this guy he had a fupa. Fucking elastic waistband in his jeans. I ain't that goddamn fat. That's when you know it's bad. Anyway. Like I was saying. If you have not seen Tommy Hall's definition of what cancer is, you might want to go check G+, because DFoTY went in on him. Just a wee bit. And I loved it. I love it. Because it kind of shows you something we've been pointing out, that unfortunately our good friend Tommy Hall, hard-working, red-blooded American from good old US of A, right down here in the Lone Star State, don't know dick about this topic at all. No one should be surprised in what they read, but I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with toxins. What toxins are, according to Tommy, who the fuck knows? I have no idea at this point. I honestly could not tell you what Tommy thinks toxins are. No idea. No idea. So, what you do at school? Go take your stuff off and read your books. The teacher said you got a new book today. I know I talked to her. What's her name? Miss Poolwater? Miss Lakewater? What's the teacher's name?
Miss Rainwater.
Oh, okay. Miss Gutterwater. Okay.
No, Miss Rainwater.
Okay. But actually, let me pull it up now that I'm inside. Now, hold on, folks. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up so I can read, because reading is essential. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. I'm pulling up DFoTY's post. DFoTY made a post in reference to Tommy, in reference to what Tommy thought of the hangout that Fiona, myself, Sam, and CRISPR, and a bunch of others had. I cannot forget DFoTY. Tommy digested that information. He listened to it, and he found it boring. The very thing that he is so passionate about, the actual science behind the topic, he found it boring, which is odd. And I'm glad that DFoTY pointed that out. The actual facts behind like what causes cancer and what some of the symptoms and just anything like pertinent to the topic was boring, and that's strange. That's very, very strange. If you're passionate about triathlons, things that are pertinent to triathlons, I don't know, stamina, how to increase your stamina. So it would be like someone saying that they're really, really interested in triathlons, and all they talk about are triathlons, and they're very competitive, with triathlons, but they find talking about how to improve your performance through increasing your stamina to be boring. That doesn't make sense. But it's strange. It's because if it was any other topic, you know, who would say something like that? So let me just read off something. I'm trying to find it. I'm glad Hawktie has split up his post into paragraphs now because it makes it easier to read and find exactly what I'm looking for. Nope, nope. Yeah, I'm gonna make you some Fruity Pebbles. Okay. All right. So get this. Y'all ready for it? What is called cancer is actually just a scary word for the buildup / spreading of chemical toxins within the body. Think about that for a second. I'm going to make this child something to eat. Just think about what I just said. Because you need to work when you're reading, that's why. Okay. So, yeah. Now, here's a question or two that I have. Okay? What are toxins, Tommy? Can you tell me what a toxin is? Can you identify one? Not tell me the signs and symptoms of toxins. What is a toxin? What is that? How do we define that in medicine? Or in the magical land of health science woo-woo bullshit, kitty fuck, that you defer to? Whatever. How is toxin defined? How do we identify toxin? Okay, first question. Second question. Do we have any organs in the body that might be like specially designed for identifying toxins and removing them? Is that a thing? Do any organisms, for that matter, have any such organ, or maybe a few organs, a few systems to remove those toxins? And how come, this is the third question, by the way, how come literally any other medical doctor that's worth their weight in, I don't know, processed kale juice or whatever it is that you value in life, how come they disagree with this? I'm genuinely curious why people in the medical field have to cut out a buildup of chemical. It's because I'm trying to imagine something. When people go in, and when I say people, certified medical professionals, not bullshit artists. When certified medical professionals, surgeons, if you will, oncologists, when they go in and they identify a mass of cells, from what I was told, that are cancerous, and they physically cut it out of a person, how are they cutting a chemical? Because is it a liquid? Is this a solid chemical? Let me read it again. What is called cancer is actually just a scary word for the buildup / spreading of chemical toxins within the body. Now, I know that solids can be toxic. I understand that. So is it like an aggregate, kind of like what are those stones you get in your urinary tract? those masses. I forget what they're called. There's a name for them. But from what I understand, they're an aggregate of certain excess molecules from kidney stones. That's what I'm thinking of. Thank you. I think they're built up of calcium, if I'm not mistaken. So we know that that's the thing. We know that they can aggregate and they can cause you to bleed out into your fucking dick hole or not, if you don't have a dick hole, your vaginal regions. We know that can happen. So are these like solid? Are these like toxic salts or something? Like someone's like what are you actually identifying? Because I'm not too sure at this point. I'm gonna read it one more fucking time, just so you guys get a real emphasis on what Tommy thinks. Because if he wrote this now, talk type copy and paste it, put it in fucking bold within his criticism of the other things that Tommy was saying. What is called cancer is actually just a scary word for the buildup / spreading of chemical toxins within the body. Folks, I don't like the fucking hermit that lives in the shithole over on the eastern side, or more eastern to me rather, side of the United States. I don't like it as much as anybody else, but this shit here is dangerous. This is misinformation. And then you have you got a new book.
Yeah.
Okay, go sit down and read that book.
I have one because I didn't take my notebook. It was library day.
It was library day? You should have put that snake book in there then, huh?
No, I didn't. I said it was library day.
Okay, well, you'll take it back next time then. But reading is essential, folks. I don't know where the fuck he read this from, but I'm gonna have to say Tommy's pushing hard. He is pushing really, really hard for this award. And I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge his efforts. Because this shit right here is just stupid. Celebrate. Like, what do you say at this point? How do you rectify willful ignorance? And I think this is especially dangerous because this goes into people's health. And since it goes into the field of health and health medicine and whatnot, it just makes it that much more sinister. Because you have people who have background in the relevant topics that, you would kind of need to understand this. And the only way that he can, United States, the only way that he can even, I guess, retort to any of this is just to claim that, they're just approaching it from a different angle. They're down to the bare bones. They're actually looking at it as if that's a bad thing. Usually. And which is strange because from his own words, he looks at it from a top-down view rather than a bottom-up. Rather than looking at the individual cells and individual chemical, reactions that may be taking place, the various pathways and all that shit. That's one side. That's one approach. His approach, however, is just an alternative. You can just look at it and intuit what's going on. You just kind of know what's going on just based on common sense. Right? Because your mind is geared toward biochemical pathways. Because it's made up of biochemical pathways, various ones, obviously. Yes, that is the Elder Scrolls playing in the background. I don't know who lied to him at some point in his life, but you can't simply intuit biochemistry and molecular biology. Who lied to him to make him believe that? Because that's absolutely fucking ridiculous. If you could, you wouldn't need to fucking go to school and get certified in this shit. Like, if it was that simple, if this was how shit worked, there would be no reason for people to spend almost a decade in school. But for some strange reason, he's convinced himself that he can intuit these really, really specified fields that people take years to master by watching YouTube videos and going to naturalnews.com. Really? Really? Now, I won't doubt that there are certain remedies that are out there that don't involve medicine. Fine. Having just a good diet and exercise, that's one of the best things any physician can recommend, and many of them do. RSC can attest to that. But good diet and exercise won't stop you from getting cancer, and once you have cancer, it doesn't, suppress it. There's kind of a reason, and we actually went over some of those reasons in the hangout that he didn't even pay attention to. Lots of information, loads of information at his disposal, but because he is so beholden to his own beliefs, being willfully ignorant is much better. So, folks, I'm going to have to switch my vote. I want Tommy to win Dumb Fuck of the Year. I mean, because he's putting in the effort. He's putting in the work. Like, what do you do with this? I sent my chemistry professor part of the hangout where Tommy was talking to Doc Savage. I sent it to him because he didn't believe me when I told him there are people saying this shit. Guy has his PhD in organic chemistry and shit, so I'm curious as to what he has to say about this. Because mind you, he's not a part of this. He's just somebody who was just a little bit curious and wanted to see. Because I told him, I said, yeah, I talk to people who believe all kind of shit, So we are going to see what he has to say. Because who knows, It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, mind you, Tommy's a nice guy. He's being more cordial than he has in the past with folks, and he's actually, being taken to task, but he's not being also ever sensitive with it. And I would be remiss if I did not mention that, so I'm trying to give credit where credit's due, but he is just wrong. Absolutely, emphatically, just wrong on this shit. I can't emphasize enough how wrong he is. And he knows good and damn well he just made this shit up. But it's a weird appeal to ignorance that he tries to make in order to justify these positions. As if his proposed alternative, just looking at things from his top-down view, is an actual alternative. Well, I could also shove my head up my ass and blow as hard as I can and come up with a solution as well. Like that's an alternative. Sure. We'll just assume that they're both on the same scale. That and deferring to actual like medical science. Yeah, right. Okay. Sure. Right on that. No. Fuck no. Like, come on. So, I want to know, folks, I'm going to end this. I'm going to get to work on some assignments and whatnot, but I'm going to be kind of watching because I think he's working real hard for this. I commend his commitment to the stuff that he believes very, 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 very strongly, but at the same time, I have to acknowledge it for what it is. It is dangerous. It is really dangerous, especially in this time where anti-intellectualism in the U.S. is growing, and people who know next to nothing about these topics think that they can stand shoulder to shoulder with like subject matter experts. I just never in my life do I would presume myself to be on that stature. Like based on what? Like based on because I feel strongly about something. Like how could I put myself in their shoes? If I was Tommy, like what's comparable to a belief that I have that I think that I can stand up like shoulder to shoulder with somebody? I can't even fathom that. I can't. Because I know that what I say is hindered by the knowledge I have on the topic at the time. Everybody is. No one knows about everything. But for this, it just comes across as absolute drivel. It just is. How can you claim ignorance on the one hand, but then promote this alternative in another? Like, I don't. You can't be ignorant to science and then like berate what scientists do. How would you even have a basis to understand what they do if you're ignorant to it? You know? Well, it's just well, no, you can't intuit stuff you don't know about. Your positions are hindered by your knowledge. Conversely, your positions are promoted and advanced by your knowledge. So it's almost like there's a correlation or something there, somewhere, just somewhere. But I'm going to help my son do some reading because I don't want him to end up like some of these folks that we talk to. So we're going to address that here and now. On that note, folks, y'all have a good day. I'm going to play some, if y'all on Elder Scrolls, we'll play some Elder Scrolls together. Free weekend, folks. Free weekend. Free weekend.
Yeah, and have fun Friday.
And have fun Friday. Okay. So, I'm voting for Tommy Hall this year, folks. If you don't think Tommy deserves it, then put it in the chat. Who do you think deserves Dumb Fuck of the Year 2017, and why? I want to know why, because we're gonna talk about it. It's getting to crunch time. It's getting there. It's getting there.